Hello everybody, welcome to the part 2 of week 4. So before going forward for building the UI of our WhatsApp clone, let's take a look at the demo of the application to clear up everything that how much features we are going to implement in this WhatsApp clone. So let's begin. So I have my WhatsApp clone that is already created running on two different devices, which is iPhone 15 Pro Max simulator and the one Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 from the Genymotion. And both have different account login. So first of all, let's go through the login process. Let's log out from this account, go to the settings and go for the logout. And this will send us to the welcome page. Now go for agree and continue, and this will require your number. So I am going for adding the number in here. So I have my number in place, and for the phone authentication, in the Firebase, I already have added the test number so that I don't have to receive the verification code again and again for the different numbers. So I have added the test numbers in here so that I use them to log in every time to my WhatsApp application for the testing. And in the production, obviously this will be different. And you will get to know about this, how we will do this in the upcoming videos of this WhatsApp clone. Anyways, by adding the number, go for the next. And then you have to write your OTP, but first this will navigate you for the verifying you're not a robot and this reCAPTCHA stuff. So select the traffic lights from here, and these are not included in here. Okay, go for the next, and still the same thing, go for verify, and this will navigate you back to verify your phone number. So I will go for 126 because it's already added, and the next step would be to enter your number, not the number but the username, and that would be in my case this. Go for the next, and I'm logging to the application, and that is the process of signing in or signing up to the WhatsApp clone using the phone number. That's it. So that was our authentication feature in our WhatsApp clone, and now the next feature that we are going to test is the chatting feature. So now we will go for the chatting feature from the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I will go for the message, and I will send this user a message which is logging in that device. So I'll click this and will send him hello, and he's online also. We can send a message, and we can go back, and you can see he got received a message in here, and we also got that user in here. So now we can go in here, and you can see he's online. I send a message. He can come back in here, and when we come to this page, he can see this user also online, and when he come to this page, you can see the message is also got seen. Now if he wants to reply the user, for example, he says hi, and then reply back, he received hi, the real-time chatting, and then he is saying how are you, but not directly. Let's reply this. For example, he want to reply his, you can see he got his name in here because he's replying him, this user, and then he say how are you, and then send the message. Here in that device he received you, and here in case of him he received the username that he is replying to, and in case of him he received you. For example, he's replying you, that how are you, same as the WhatsApp replies happens. And when he replies back, you can see the reply is also same as we had in the real WhatsApp. So for example, he's saying I'm fine, how about you, and then send it back, and then he received, now this time he received you just because he replied his message. So in case of him, this will be here, he will see that he's replying to you that I am fine, how about you, and in the case of him, he will see the username that is saying that he's replying to. So that was simple basic messages, replies, the seen message, and the online and offline status. And the online offline status will be recognized by, for example, when I minimize this, you can see the online status has been gone, and when I come back, he got online again. So that's how the online and offline status is working, and the same will be for this device. Now for example, he want to send the emoji message and then send it. He received the emojis, he can reply to the emojis same as the regular message, and then he can do the same, send it, and then he receives it. Let's go back, go to the keyboard, and that is how the emoji keyboard is working for the chatting. And then now it's time to test out the sending images. I select the image, it takes me here, and then if I send it, it will take some while for uploading in the Firebase cloud storage, and then it will load it in here. Only some time will be taken depending on your internet connection. And you can see we got the message in here. It's already seen, the message has been sent, it's loading, and yes, we got the message sent in our WhatsApp clone. Now next feature that we are going to test out is that, let's go back from here first of all, and then come back. You can see I got the photo sent, so I got the photo in here, and also here the photo. Now if I come here again and send a message, let's say hello again, and then go back in here, you can see the hello come in here, same as WhatsApp, and then come back to the chat. And that is how the simple chat and sending images and the emojis, online offline status features are working in our WhatsApp clone. Now it's time to test out the voice chat to send the voice message. For example, let's say if I type something in here, you can see this converted to sending a message. When I remove this back converted into the voice. Now from this Xiaomi Redmi Note 7, I want to send a voice message. So I will click this, and it's saying record something, and here it will say something. And if I close this, after some time the voice will be uploaded to cloud storage, and then it will be sent it to here. You can see he got received this, and in case of him, he also got received it in here. And then we can play the sound from here, and we will listen to that sound that what we just said, and the time will be calculated accordingly to when you keep open the sound. This was the sending a voice message in the WhatsApp clone. And the next is of sending the GIF. So yes, we can also send the GIFs. For example, if I want to send this GIF, I will select this, and this will directly be sent in here in the chats. So now the last two remaining things are to send the video messages and then to test the calling in the chatting. And before this, we can also reply an image like that, and then say hi will be sent, and we got it like this. So the only two features of testing video sending and then the video calling is remaining, and we will do it when you go to the real device. But for just testing out the calling in the emulators, let's do it, because in iPhone 15 Pro Max we don't have any open cameras, and the Genymotion device do have a camera. So let's call this, and you can see he received a call like that from this device, and there is loading. And when he accept this, then he will become to allow the access to the call. When he allow the access, the indicator will be load, and you can see we got the call instantiated. But because the iPhone don't have the camera, so we are getting this screen like that. So he can go back from the call. You can see he got back, and then he can also go back from here. So this was the call feature, also fully functional, working in our WhatsApp clone, and we will implement this using the Agora calling SDK. And for sending the video, yes, we will use a real device because I don't have any short video in these emulators. So for that purpose, we will use a real device. So now we can go back from here. That was all for chatting, online offline status, seeing messages, replying to messages, sending emojis, messages, GIFs, voice notes, and also to video calling. Now only the video sending is remaining, and we will do it from the real device. That's it. Now go back, and that's how we chat in here. That is the time in that, and the emulator time is 6:30, so that's why it's taking like that. Now next thing is go for the status. And one more thing that I want you to see is the calls history. So from that device, the call has been made to this user. So it's saying the call has been made using this sign that time to this user. And in the call history of that user is you received the call from this person and you picked it. But if you decline this call, so you will get this incoming call to red. For example, let's test it out. Go to the chat again, and then for example, the bot user, for example, this user again, call him, and then he, for example, declined that call. And then he also go back from this call, and now if you go in here, you can see he called the same person, but as he declined, so we got this red. And then same case for this, he received a call but he declined it, so the history is creating same as the real WhatsApp. Now it's time to test the status. So let's come to the status for both. For example, this user wants to upload his status, so he will do this. And for example, he want to upload these 2 images to his status, he will add this, and from here he can swipe between the images that he has selected. He can cancel them, and then he can select them back. He can select them like that, and then for example, he upload this by clicking this, and it will start uploading. But in this testing WhatsApp clone, I didn't create the circular progress indicator in here, but yes, in the upcoming videos in our bootcamp of creating the WhatsApp clone, we will create the circular progress indicator here while these 2 images are uploading to the cloud file store. Not the cloud file store, but the Firebase cloud storage. So now when the status has been uploaded in the iPhone, you can see he got my status in here and the time when the status is uploaded. But in case of him, he got the status like that in the recent updates, but he don't have one status from his own. So if you want to see his status, he can see it like that. He can switch between the stories like that. He can stop that by holding the touch finger, and then he can resume it back like that. And then from here, if he open his story and then go back, you can see one story has been viewed like the real WhatsApp. And then he can open it back, move to the next one, stop it, and resume it again, and it's finished. You can see the status has been viewed like that. And from here, he can also upload his own status by going to the images, and then like that he can also upload his own status like that. And then when he upload his status, it will comes in here. And then in case of him, he can go for deleting his status. You can see it's uploaded 2 minutes ago, and then your status update will be disappear after 24 hours. Yes, this feature is also implemented. After 24 hours, the status will be disappeared. So we can delete the status from here, and it's deleted. You can see it gone from here and it's deleted. And we have seen the call history, we have seen the status, we have seen the authentication of the user, we have seen different type of messages, online, offline statuses, replies, and all of that stuff. Now it's time to move to the real device to test the sending of the video message and also testing out the video calling real time in there. So I have this user on the real device. He's online currently, so I will message him hi, and then go back. He comes in here, and then I can go in here now, and then for example, this user calls him. So from that side, he's receiving call. So I will receive this call, and it will take a little time, and then the call will be instantiated. You can see this is from the real device, and this is from the iPhone, as the iPhone don't have any camera. And that was the call. The microphone connected, and that was happening from my real device. So that's it. Now go back, and then I'm going to start the recording in my real device, and I will place it in here, and then I'm going to test. So I select the video and from my device, and then I can play it in here, and it's like that. I can pause it, I can play it again, and then if I upload it, so after some time the message will be sent. Only little time will be taken. It depends upon the internet connection, and yes, we got the video message received, and we can play it. like that. And in case of here, we can play it. We can go back, let's say, commit again. There might be some permission issue, so yes, we will add that in our iOS for playing this video, because I didn't much test this WhatsApp clone in the iPhone, and in iPhone it's causing so many problems. I test mostly on the Android, but in iOS it's sometimes causing the video playing and playing voice problems. So yes, for that it required permission, so I didn't add them. So I will show you how you can add the permissions while we will creating this WhatsApp clone in our videos. So let's go back and then let's interact with this device from the real device. So let's say to this device I am sending a message here. Let's say saying hi. He received the message, and then we come in here. Both are online. Now if I'm sending the same video from the real device, both got received the video and he can play it. And from here we can also play it. So that's all for the demo of the WhatsApp clone. You have seen different type of messages can be sent. You can see here, yeah, now we can see the video has been sent or received. And in case of him, we have the different type of messages. We have just the video calling, and then we have just the status and also the call history, and then also we have just the authentication of our user in the settings. So that's it. All these features will be done. How much we have different types of chat. We can chat the users from here, the users that we have logged in our application, and then we can send different type of messages. We can upload our status. We can have the call history. We can have a video call like that, and all of that stuff. So that is what we will do in this complete week 4 and 5. So there is a lot to learn for you. Now it's time to go for the UI part. So without further ado, let's get started. So in the previous episode, we created the directories for our user feature, and that structure of the directories would be applied on every feature in this app, and this way we would take care of the clean architecture main objective, which is the separation of concerns. And later this would become more easier to insert a new feature within the app, and other parts of the app didn't even realize that what just happened around us. That is why it is called the clean architecture. Anyways, let's put first thing first and add the required dependencies in the project. So you already know where we add our dependencies in our Flutter project. Simply, you have to move to your pubspec.yaml file, and then in the dependency, you have to add all of your dependencies that you want your app to depend upon. So that's all you have to do in your pubspec.yaml file. Next, create an app feature where we would have our primary libraries such as the homepage logic, having some constants and other global widgets. So first thing, inside this app widget, we will create the theme directory. Inside this, we have a style ... where we have the color constants that would be used throughout our application. And creating such constants of colors is a good practice, which allow us to use the constants without calling the different colors over and over again from the colors class. So these are the colors that would be used in our application. And also I have added some of the images in the project. So if you need these images, simply you can get this from my GitHub repository. Next, we would have a constant directory inside the app feature, and inside this constant directory, we will have the app constants, Firebase collection constants, as we will be using the Firebase Cloud Firestore database for our application. And next, the message type constants and also the page constants. So inside the app constants, initially we have only the toast method, which will be called anywhere in our application where we need the toast to display. And for now, that is it for this app constants, and later we can have some more constants that will be added with the time if we need some constants. And next we have the Firebase collection constants. So these will be the collections in our WhatsApp clone. Obviously, we would have the users, so we have the string users Firebase collection constant stored in this class. Next, we would have one-to-one channel, chat channel, my chat, messages, and so on. You will get to know about the uses of the static constants of this Firebase collection constant class later when we go forward and start dealing with the backend database of Cloud File Store database. Next, we have the message constants. These message constants are to distinguish between the messages that we will send in our WhatsApp clone app. Like we are going to have the text message, the file message, emoji message, photo, audio, video, and also the GIF message. So these are the constant to distinguish between the messages that we will send in our WhatsApp clone application. And lastly, we have the page constants. Later this will come into play when we implement the routing in our application. So for now we have this class like this. We have simple routes defined in here, welcome page, OTP page, login page, and also other pages. So next directory inside our app feature would be global. There will go some global widgets. So when you open this, first I have just a date directory inside and I have the date formats inside. So that date formats will be used throughout our application. Next, we would have the entities and the widgets inside the global, and you don't have to worry about the directories inside this app feature because this app feature is the feature where we would have our primary libraries, and this is not a solid feature which deals with the backend like we have one of the user. For the user, we are going to have the data sources like to deal with the Cloud File Store database. We are going to have the user specific models, but for the app this is not the case. So here you can create directories that are separated and you can easily get to know about where I just stored this specific thing inside my app feature. So inside the entity, we are going to have the app entity. You will get to know about the use of it. So for now, I just create this empty directory, and later we are also going to have some global widgets that will be used globally throughout our application. So for now, that is it for creating some constant things for our WhatsApp clone application. Now we will go for creating the basic UI of our application. So initially, when you run your app, it will look something like this. In the main.dart here, we have the default Flutter app, where the material design tree is also true. That is why we are getting the beautiful UI of material 3 in our Flutter demo application. So I have removed all of the boilerplate code from here and I just put my initial app in here, where we have a simple main method which runs our app, and here is our initial my app stateless widget where we are returning the material app, and here we have set the debug show check mode banner to false so that we don't want this debug banner right in the top right corner of our app. Next, in a theme, what we are doing in here, we are setting the scaffold background color directly from here so that we don't have to set the scaffold background color in all of the pages that we will create later while creating the other pages of our WhatsApp clone. And also we set the dialog box background color to app bar background color so that we don't have to set it again while creating the dialog. And also the app bar theme will be the app bar theme coming from our color constants that we just set in the themes directory in the styles.dart. And here in the home, initially we are calling the splash screen, but later we will implement the routing also. So you're already familiar with the concept of creating the splash screen, but anyways, let's do it together. Inside this app feature, we will create one more directory, and inside this, there we would have display screen. So we got the splash directory inside the app feature, and then we also got the splash screen inside the splash directory. And inside that, we got a simple stateful widget where we are doing the same thing that you learned in the week 3 while creating the splash screen. So here, what we are doing is setting the timer of duration 2 seconds, and after that, we are navigating to our welcome page, which is not created yet, and we are going to create it right now. So in the init state, we are doing that, and only for 2 seconds, we will display this scaffold. For now, let's collapse this running device, and here we have a simple scaffold. The background color will be the background color of our application that we set here in the styles.dart. Here the background color will be that, and then we have a simple container. That is because here what we are doing, we want this WhatsApp logo to be aligned in the center, and also we want this from Meta to be aligned at the bottom of the screen. So we created a column and we set the space between so that the container will take the space of the top rightmost, and in the middle the image will be displayed, and for the from and the meta image and the meta text, that will be displayed right at the bottom of the screen, and with some little spacing from the bottom. So that is a simple splash screen. Now let's go and create the welcome page, and then we will go for calling it in the main.dart, and let's go for testing it. So inside the app feature, we will create one more directory. Its name would be welcome. Inside that welcome, we will create the welcome page, and then inside that welcome page, we are going to have a very simple stateless widget for now. And let's go for importing the material dart, and lastly, this build method is going to return the scaffold, and in the body we are returning the container for having some horizontal and vertical spacing, and then we have a column where we have space around to create the welcome page. So our welcome page will look something like this. First we have some text, and then this image, some more text, and a button of agree and continue, and later this button will lead us or will navigate us to the login page. So we got the welcome to WhatsApp, this text, and then we got an image right in the column. So we got this image, and then we have one more column. That is because we want these two text and this button to align a little bit close, so that this will not be manipulated by the space around main axis alignment of the parent column. So inside this nested column, inside this one column, we set the text, some size box of vertical, and the button of agree and continue. So together we have this widget inside the column. So only these three widgets, this one column, this image, and the center will be aligned with the main axis space around, and this column would adjust this gesture detector and also this text inside, as we have here in this page. So that is a very simple welcome page where we will be navigated to after the splash screen has been displayed. So now let's go for importing this welcome page and make it constant also, and now it's time to call it in the main.dart. So here we have to do splash screen, and that's it. And now let's open the running devices, and now let's go for rerunning this app. So we got a splash screen just like this, and then we are navigated to the welcome page of our WhatsApp clone, where we got the same welcome page that we have in here. So that was the initial steps. The further steps will be to create the login page, the OTP screen page, and also the initial profile page from where we will enter our credential, and then we will be navigated to the home page. So in the home page where we will have the chats, the status, and the calls, etc. in there. So now let's go for creating the next page where we will be navigated to after we click the agree and continue button in here. So that will be our login page. So our login page will be created inside the user feature, because the user feature is going to deal with all the credential stuff. So inside the pages directory, inside the presentation layer of our user, we will create the login page, and in here we will have a stateless widget of login page. And let's go for importing the material.dart, and inside the build method, this is going to return. So the build method of the login page is going to return a simple scaffold. In the body, we are going to have a container for giving some margin from horizontally and vertically, and also its child would be column. Inside this column, we are going to have, first of all, some text like that, and also some more text, and then we need one field where we're gonna have a flag of the country. We're gonna have a right to select the country and also the country, and also we will be allowed to add the phone number in here, and that country code will also come in here when we select the country accordingly, and also there would be a next button in here. So everything is aligned vertically, so we got a column. So inside the column, first we need some size box from top and a center widget of text, verify your phone number, as we have in here. And then we have some text styling for that, and next widget after this center would be this text. So for that we will do again a text widget with the text of WhatsApp clone will send you a message, and then the further text of it, and then we align this text in the center and we set the font size to 15, and then some more space vertically, and right after this we will return a list tile, and inside this we set the content padding horizontally too, and this on tab is going to call the open filter country picker dialog. That would be the dialog which will be displayed when this area of selecting the country is clicked. And then for the title we will build the build dialog item according to the country is selected. So we're gonna need some variables to be created. So for that we have to convert our login page to a stateful widget, and inside the stat class here we are going to have some variables. That would be first the text editing controller. Let's resize this area to make it more clear. First we need the text editing controller, that will be the area for where we will be entering our phone number, and then we have the selected country, where our selected country will be stored when one is selected from this dialog box, which will be open when this area is clicked. So that would be it, and then we will also store the country code when the specific country is selected, when this dialog box is open and the specific country is selected. So we will also store that country code in that string variable, and then we will display it also in here. And next to it we are going to have a field of phone number where we will add our phone number and go for the further steps. So that would be it. Initially the country code will be 92, and you can set it to any number of your country. So for that we have to import from the country pickers, the country pickers dot and also the country dot, and these are coming from the packages that we have added in our pubspec.yaml file initially. So that would be the variables, and now let's go for creating the open filter country picker dialog. So this would be the build dialog item for this country picker dialog, and also when it's selected will be displayed in here. So that in the build dialog item we are returning a simple container with the height of 14, and its alignment is in the center, and the decoration will be the box decoration, and in the bottom we have a simple border that is in here, that border at the bottom of a specific build item, and then inside the child of this we have a row where we set the space evenly of the main axis alignment of the row, so its horizontal main axis alignment will be spaced evenly. And then inside that row we have from the country utils picker we got the get default flag image on that specific country. So in the builder we will get for a specific country that specific flag, and then we will also get the phone code of that specific country, and then the expanded widget for the text. That is because our text can overflow like this, so when it overflow, so we will simply ellipse this like this. So we put the expanded in here and we set the overflow to ellipses, and then you put a spacer in here, the icon of drop down arrow. So this will be aligned at the rightmost in the row that is located in here. Now there are some errors in the open filter country picker dialog and also in the build dialog. Now let's hover it, and it's saying invalid constant value. So it simply means we have to remove the constant from our column. That is because it is containing the values that can be rebuilt along the time when there is some changes in the widget tree. So now we will only put the constants for those widgets which are constant. So we will add the constant modifiers everywhere in the file by selecting this option, and there we go, we got this. So our login page is successfully created. Now it's time to go and call it in here in the gesture detector of the login page. So for now we will use only the navigator push, and later we will implement the routing to make it clear. So for now let's do navigator.push, and here we will do material page route and context, and let's go for the page of login page. That's it. Now let's make it constant. Now then, how to start your application to reset everything. We got splash screen, we got to the login page, the welcome page, and then when you click this agree and continue, this will take us in here. So we got verify your phone number, some text, and also the country of default selected 92, and it's Pakistan. Now when you click this, a dialog box will appear and you can scroll it like this. You can select any country you want, so it will become like this. You can search for countries, let's say USA, and it's coming here, select it, and we got it in here. Now next thing we have to do inside the login page is we have to create the form field in here. Right after this list style. So after this list style, we are going to have a row widget, and the first child will be the container. So inside this container, we have simple a box decoration. From the bottom, we have a border of width 1.50, and its color is type color, and its width and height are set it like that with 80 and height 42, and its alignment is in the center, and it's in the text it accepts the phone code that came from the selected country as we have selected from this dialog box. And this expanded widget is a text field which is wrapped by a container. Its height is 40 and margin, and the decoration is set, and also we set the bottom border for this, and also we pass the controller for the phone controller to extract the phone text from the controller later when we go for the actual implementation, and in the hand text we pass the phone number, and that's it. Now Ctrl S to hot reload, and we got this in here, this one and this phone number in here. Now when we select one other country in here, let's say this Australia, so we got the 61 in here and this country in here. Now next thing we want in here is the next button, so that we will be navigated to the next page. So right after this row, we will do in here, we are going to have a gesture detector widget, and its style will be a simple container with some width and height, set it, and some margin and decoration, and in the center we have simple text of next, and when this button is clicked, we will be navigated to the next page, which will be verifying the OTP of the phone number. So for now, let's Ctrl S, and we got this next button right in here. Now to move it down to the bottom, what we have to do, the same thing that we were doing for moving the text of already have an account or don't have an account to the bottom. So we will do wrap this column with one more column and expand this column like this, so it will take all the available space, and we will take this button from here and paste it right after this expanded widget, and then go for Ctrl S, and we got this button in here. Now let's go for creating the on tab for this. So in the future, this on tab will not be the direct navigation from the login page to the OTP page, but its state will be managed efficiently using Qubit, so that on that specific state we will display pages and will perform our authentication. But for now, just for creating the UI, we will do navigator.push, and for the material route we will pass the material page route, and the context, and then the OTP page. Let's make it OTP page like that, and also make it constant like that, and let's go for creating this page, and will be OTP page, and then stateless widget OTP page. Let's go for import this, and in the body this is going to return Again, the same thing, container, margin horizontally and vertically, and a column with the list of children. So in there, we're going to have, first of all, some more text of like this, verify your OTP, and some text like that. And there will be the fields like this one and a simple next button. So here we're gonna have again size box, and in the center verify your OTP, and again some text of enter your OTP for the WhatsApp clone verification, and again some vertical height or spacing. And then we will call the pin code widget, which will create this pin code area for us, and then we will give some space of vertical. And we got this error, that is because we are calling a method and we have this column constant, so we have to change this constant or remove this constant and add the const modifier only for those who the widgets that are not changeable or constant. So we will create the pin code widget. So right after this we will do the pin code widget, and we are simply returning a container and a margin horizontally 50, and it's returning, it has the child of column, and the column we have the pin code fields coming from the package, this pin code fields package that we added in the pubspec.yaml file, and we set the length to 6. Active borders color will be the tab color, and onComplete will be like this for now. And we have enter your 6-digit code message for the user. And for the OTP controller, we will convert this stateless widget to stateful widget, and the stateful widget here in the stat class we will do create a text editing controller of OTP controller and then dispose it also. So we are all set with our OTP page, and now let's go to the login page and let's call or import this page in here. That's it. Now again, how to start the application, and in the OTP page there is one thing remaining, that is the creating the button of the next. So anyways, let's go for it first. Agree and continue and go for the next, and we got in here we can enter like this, and then we need a button in here to go to the next page. So in the right after this pin code we have to do one more thing, we have to wrap this column with one more column and expand this column because we want the next button to be at the bottom. So right after this expanded widget we're going to have the same gesture director widget, and its child we're going to have the container same as we had for the login page, and it's the same next text, and in the on tab this will navigate us to the initial profile submit page. So for now we have commented out this navigator API of the push method, so just to see how its results looks like. And yes, we got the result in here. When this next is clicked, we will be navigated to the page of initial profile submit page. So now let's go for creating it, and we will do initial profile submit page, and then will be a stateless widget in initial profile submit page. And then let's go for import the material dart, and in the body this is going to have a scaffold body container of margin agent set start symmetric horizontal tail and vertical 30, and in the child we're going to have column children, and let's make it constant. Also this one for now, we'll remove this if something comes in the children list that can be changed or are not constant. So inside the column of the children we will do for the initial submit profile page, it looks something like this. It's pretty simple. Now let's go for creating it. So we will do, first of all, let's make it this stateful widget. That is because we're going to have a field. So for that we have to create the controller. So we're going to have a variable in the stat. So for that we have to do it. So inside the column we will do some height vertically, and in the center we have the profile info just like this one, and some text of please provide your name and optional profile photo, and then some size box, a gesture detector, and the select image method calling in here. Let's convert it to size box within height 50, and it's clip rect just to clip that image selected by the user from the gallery, and it will be circular 25. And the profile widget will be the widget that will be created globally. So inside this widgets we will do profile widget, that is going to be a very useful widget in our WhatsApp application. So this will be our profile widget, which is accepting two parameters, image URL and the file. So here we have some conditions. We are checking if the image that we picked from our gallery is null, and also the image URL was null, and the image URL was equal to this empty string. So what you have to do, if there was no data in here, in this either in is this image URL and also no image is picked from the gallery, what you have to do, simply display the profile default image from our assets that we have in here. So simply you have to display this image if we have no image from the URL coming from the database, and also if there is no image selected from the gallery. Else, if we had an image, if the image URL was not equal to null, and if it was also not equal to this empty string, what you have to do is simply cache that network image, pass the URL in here, and the box fit will be the cover to cover all the area inside the box, the size box or the container from which this profile widget will be wrapped. In our case, it's wrapped in the size box, so it will be like this. And if there is some error, you will still display the profile widget, or if there is no image URL specified. So what it will do, simply display the image that is selected from the gallery. And also, if there is an image coming from the URL and we select another image from the gallery, first condition will become false, and then still we will get the image that is selected from the gallery. So that is what this profile widget is doing. So inside the initial profile submit page, we will import this, and here we have to do some configuration in here in the stat class. So we got a file variable where our image will be stored and will be displayed in the profile image if selected. If it's not selected, if it was null, simply the default profile image will be displayed. And in the select image method, what we are doing is we are getting the image from the gallery, image sources gallery, and in the set stat we are checking the condition. If the pick file that is picked from the gallery was not equal to null, simply set that file that is picked to this image variable that we have just created in this stat. Otherwise, do nothing, simply print no image has been selected. And if there is some error occur, simply display a toast that we have in the constant in here and say some error occurred and the error that is occurred. So that's it. Next, there is one more error. Let's import the constants of our colors, and now let's also make this constant. Next thing here we have to do, put some size box vertically and a container of height 40 and some margin from top 1.5, and its decoration will be, and inside the box decoration from the bottom we will create a border side, the same border like this, and then its color will be the type color, which is this color, and then its controller will be the username controller. Let's create it in here. In the stat will be the text editing controller username. Let's copy the name and will become equal to text editing controller, and that's it. Make it final as per recommendation from the Flutter analysis YAML. So that's it for this initial profile submit page. Now let's go to the OTP page and let's go for importing this page, make it constant. Now how to start the application, and then let's see the result of it. We got a splash screen, we got the welcome page, agree and continue. Here we got this, we have to write our phone number in here. We can select the country like this and its code will become in here. Next we got this OTP page where we can enter this, and when we go for the next, you will be navigated to profile page, from where when you click this profile you can select the image from the gallery. And if you have one, I have this in the photo, so I'll select this, so it will become like this. I have to enter my name and then go for the next. So my profile task will be done, and I will be navigated to the home page, and its backend will be implemented once the UI stuff is completed. So that's it for this first part of creating the UI, and in the next part we will go for creating the home page, status page, and the calls page, and the pages like that. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section, and see you in the next one.